you ever wondered why some businesses seem to run so smoothly? Mabilis ang proseso, konti ang oras, at satisfied lagi ang customers. Or maybe you've noticed na sa ibang companies maraming delay, sayang ang oras at laging may aberya. The secret behind many successful organizations and businesses is something called Lean Six Sigma. Pero ngayon, kilalanin muna natin ang bumubuo sa Futurepreneurs. So, I am Reynalyn Duldulao, the hacker, together with Karil Mitch M. Cruz, also the hacker, Princess Ira Guillermo, and Dara Jane Camilaw, the hustler, and lastly, Jasmine Villanueva and Clarence James Javien, which is our hipster. So first, let's proceed to the overview of the lesson. So first, applies the Lean Six Sigma DMAIC method to improve process performance. Next is, focuses on reducing waste, which is the Lean, and minimizing variation, which is the Six Sigma. Next is, uses data-driven analysis to identify inefficiencies and root causes. Next is, implements targeted solutions to increase quality, speed, and accuracy. Next is, achieves measurable results that promote continuous improvement and operational excellence. So first, what is lean production? Lean production is a methodology of increasing the speed of a process within a business by cutting out waste. Sa madaling salita, tinatanggal ng lean production ang mga hindi kailangang hakbang o aksyon para maging mas mabilis, mas maayos at mas episyente ang daloy ng trabaho sa isang negosyo. Ngayon, ano naman ang waste? Waste is any part of the business which doesn't add any value. Ibig sabihin, ang mga waste ay ang mga bagay, gawain o proseso na kumakain ng oras, pera o effort, pero walang dagdag na value sa customer o sa kumpanya. Sino nga ba ang nagpasimula ng lean production? So, lean thinking originated at Toyota from its production system. The original ideas were formulated by Sakichi Toyoda in the 1920s and 1930s, but only made the leap to full implementation in the 1950s. So, sa madaling salita, ang lean thinking ay nagsimula sa Toyota. Nabuo ito sa pamamagitan ni Sakichi Toyoda noong taong 1920 at 1930. Ngunit naipatupad lamang ito ng buo noong taong 1950s. Ngayon, magtungo naman tayo sa 8 ways ng lean production. Ang 8 ways sa business ay ang mga sumusunod. Pwede din natin itong tawaging team woods. Una, transportation. Ito ang moving items or information. Pangalawa, inventory. Ito ang items or information that the customer has not received. Pangatlo, motion. Ito ang excessive movement within workspace. Pang-apat, waiting. Ito ang waiting for information or items to arrive. Pang-5, over-processing. Ito ang doing more work than necessary. Pang-6, overproduction. Ito ang doing work before it is needed. Pang-7, defects. Ito ang mistakes and errors that need to be reworked. At panghuli o pang-8, skills. Ito naman ang not using workers to fullest of their ability. First is the transportation, or also known as touches. It is the unnecessary movement of materials, equipment, or information. Sa madaling salita, ang transportation ay tumutukoy sa hindi kailangang paggalaw o paglilipat ng mga materyales, kagamitan o impormasyon mula sa isang lugar patungo sa iba. At Bahama Bistro, an example of transportation would be shipping supplies between 2 locations. So ano nga ba ang Bahama Bistro? Ang Bahama Bistro ay isang restaurant na may iba't ibang food vendors sa isang lugar. Bawat isa may kanya-kanyang specialty, pero iisang sistema ng benta, serbisyo at customer experience. Or sa ibang halimbawa, sa mga fast food restaurants natin tulad na lamang ng Jollibee, McDo, Chowking, KFC, etc., yung pagpapadala ng mga supply nila sa pagitan ng 2 location, kahit pwede naman silang pagsamahin o paikliin, ang tawag doon ay transportation. So examples include multiple people reviewing the same document, emailing information between people or departments, moving inventory between storage area, And lastly, moving equipment or files between work areas. Now, let's move on to inventory. So, inventory refers to storing more supply, having a higher quantity of materials on hand than needed or when needed. So, ibig sabihin, ang inventory ay tumutukoy sa pag-iimbak, pag-i-store o pagbili ng mas maraming supply kaysa sa tunay na kailangan o mas maaga kaysa sa oras ng pangangailangan. So, at Bahama Bistro, an example of inventory would be buying a year's worth of coffee beans when next day delivery is available from the vendor. Sa Bahama Bistro o kahit sa ibang mga coffee shops, once na nag-imbak o bumili ng kape yung owner para sa buong taon, kahit may next day delivery naman mula sa supplier niya, ang tawag doon ay inventory waste. Kumbaga, once na nai-stock yung mga supplies, may posibilidad ito na hindi ma-reach ng mga customer mo, which is maling-mali. So, dapat planado ang lahat at hindi tayo pwede maging praning sa isang negosyo. First, valuable floor or storage space filled with unused items. So, syempre, sa isang business, kunyari meron kang isang space na paglalagyan mo ng mga gamit or mga supply mo. So, ngayon, once na nilagyan mo yon ng mga gamit na mga hindi na pwede or mga hindi na mapapakinabangan, is may possibility na ma-delay nito yung process ng business mo. Kasi syempre, paano pag dumating yung time na kailangan mo na ng space para sa mga materials or sa mga new materials mo, di ba? So, syempre, kapag nangyari yon, parang ito yung nag-hinder or nagkakos ng obstacle or yun nga, mas mapapabagal niya yung pagtakbo ng business mo. Next naman is storing aging assets that quickly become obsolete. So, katulad din ito nung una. So, sabi naman dito, kapag ikaw is nag-store ka ng mga items or materials sa isang lugar, is may possibility naman na hindi na sila mapakinabangan. So, kapag kasi sinabi nating obsolete, ito yung, kumbaga, hindi na nga po pwedeng gamitin. Sira na. Hindi na pwedeng gamitin. Ganun. So, syempre, pag nangyari to, sayang lang yung mga materials mo. And nagkakos ito and nagpapadelay din ito ng process ng business mo. And last naman is inventory or materials piling up before a complicated process step. So, kasama din dito kasi yung pagtatambak or pagpa-pile up ng mga materials. So, syempre, obvious naman na yun, pagka nag-pile up ka ng mga materials, may possibility din na mag-cause siya ng pagkabagal ng pagtakbo ng business mo. Kasi syempre, maano kang tao eh, parang kailangan lahat nandyan sa tabi mo. And when in reality, dapat nakahanda na yun talaga and dapat ma-minimize mo nga. So, hindi mo siya dapat impact. Now, let's move on and proceed to the motion. So, motion is any movement of people that does not add any value to the product or service. So, ang motion ay anumang galaw ng tao na hindi nakakadagdag ng halaga sa produkto o serbisyo. At Bahama Bistro, an example of motion would be frequent trips to the stock room. Sa Bahama Bistro o kahit sa ibang food restaurant, halimbawa nito ay madalas na pagpunta sa stock room para kumuha ng mga supplies. Yung tipong naubos na yung oras mo kakapabalik-balik sa stock room. So, ang tawag natin doon ay motion waste. Examples include storing frequently used tools and materials in hard-to-reach places. So, sabi lang dito, once na nilagay mo yung mga materials mo sa mga matataas na lugar, is kabilang siya sa motion waste. Kasi syempre, magdadagdag din siya ng time and effort dun sa kukuha. Therefore, mas napapabagal niya yung run ng business. Next is workplace not organized in order of the process being performed. Syempre, pag madumi paligid mo, pag kalat-kalat yung mga gamit, is may tendency nito na mapabagal yung takbo ng business mo, katulad na lamang nung nasa picture dito. Last is having to open multiple software applications to complete a step. So, yung mga kabilang na dito kasi yung mga company na nagre-require ng maraming application. Siyempre, pagka nangyari to, mas mapapabagal din nito yung takbo ng business mo. Ito pala yung last. Last is excessive clicks required to perform routine. Parang ganun lang din sa isa. Yung isa, di ba, application. So, ito naman is clicks. So, therefore, ito yung mga bagay or mga motion na nagpapabagal ng mga business natin. Pang-apat naman is yung waiting. Waiting is the most prevalent of all 8 ways, and it refers to process delays while waiting on people, equipment, materials, or information. So, sa madaling salita, ang waiting ay ang pagkaantala sa proseso dahil sa paghihintay sa tao, kagamitan, materyales, o impormasyon. Ito rin ang pinakakaraniwang uri ng waste. At Bahama Bistro, an example would be customers waiting for their orders. Sa Bahama Bistro, Jollibee, McDo, o anumang mga fast food restaurant or businesses, ang anumang paghihintay ng mga customers sa kanilang order at iba pang sakop ng business field ay tinatawag nating waiting waste. Examples include the following. So first is being unable to complete a step until receiving the file. So halimbawa sa business mo, may hinihintay ka na message from your key partner. So, kunyari, matagal siyang mag-reply dun sa message mo. So, this action or this waiting can cause a delay in the process or in your business. Next is a process that is stalled due to a missing signature. Dito naman, madedelay daw yung process ng business mo kapag kunyari, yung business mo is nangangailangan ng signature from the higher ups. And last naman is a process step that requires the attention of a busy subject matter expert. Dito din, parang katulad dun sa may signature, so nade-delay daw yung step ng business natin kapag kunyari, yung mga higher ups ay, syempre, busy din sila. And once na na-delay yun, or hindi natin na-receive agad in the matter of time, may possibility na tumagal yung process ng business natin.
Hi, I am Karyumi Chamcruz and I'll be discussing the OODS in Teamwoods, which stands for Overprocessing, Overproduction, Defects, and Skills. So let's start with overprocessing. What is overprocessing? It refers to any effort that doesn't add value to the product or services from the customer's point of view. In short, ito yung mga times na we do more work than what's actually needed, like adding extra steps, features, or process na hindi naman talaga makakabuti sa final result. For example, at Bahama Bistro, dahil maaaring same ang mga orders ng customers, kailangan lagyan ng barista ng names ang mga cups. Pero instead na names lang or yung first name, full name pa ang inilagay with surname. So, yun yung tinatawag nating overprocessing. Next naman is yung overproduction. So, what is overproduction? Ito naman yung making more units earlier or faster than the next step in the process or faster than what the customer requires. For example, at Bahama Bistro, magbo-brew ng coffee yung barista ng marami or higit pa sa in-order ng isang customer kahit hindi naman swak sa kailangan nito o sa araw na iyon. So, maaring masayang lang ito or hindi ito makonsume agad. So, yun yung tinatawag nating overproduction. Next is defects. These are information, products, or services that are inaccurate, incomplete, or missing. For example, nag-request yung customer na ang ilagay sa kanyang drink ay soy milk. Pero instead na soy milk ang inilagay ng barista or ang ginamit ng barista ay yung pure milk. So, yun yung mga defects. Yun yung tinatawag nating defects or errors. And lastly is skills. It refers to not making the best use of people experience, knowledge, skills, creativity, or capability. For example, at Bahama Bistro, may isang non-utilized talent ang magte-training ng konting employees para mag-operate sa pagre-register. And so, yun yung tinatawag nating skills sa Teamwoods. And that's all for OODS in Teamwoods. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered how some companies consistently produce high-quality products? deliver them on time, and do so with minimal waste? The answer often lies in the principle of Lian. So, yung Lian Toolbox, it is a powerful set of strategies and techniques designed to help us identify and eliminate yung mga waste, streamline our processes, and create more value para sa ating mga customer. So, good day everyone, I'm Jasmine Villanueva, and now we'll dive into what this toolbox contains and how we can use it to drive continuous improvement. JIT production is a manufacturing system designed para mabawasan ang waste sa pamamagitan ng pag-produce ng goods kapag kailangan lang. Nakakatulong ito para ma-reduce yung amount of time, labor, at mga materials na involved sa manufacturing process. The core principle behind JIT is a pull system where yung production is initiated by customer demand rather than being on a forecast. This results in a streamlined system with minimal on-site raw materials, short wait times between production steps, and small batch sizes. The main advantage ng JIT system are, ang una ay lower working capital. Yung inventory levels are kept very low which frees up capital. Pangalawa ay reduced space and handling costs. With no large stock of materials or finished goods, less space is needed for storage and less effort is required for material handling. However, the primary drawback of a JIT system is its vulnerability to interruptions, because there are no buffers or extra stock built into the system. So, any delay or problem can quickly bring the entire production process to a halt. From the previous discussion, we already knew that Lian is about eliminating waste. Now we are going to explain the difference between a push system and a pull system. A push and pull system ay ilan sa efficient inventory management strategies. They both have their application, benefits, and their weaknesses. So first, we're going to discuss the push system. Ang push system ay ang just-in-case method. A company manufactures a product based doon sa forecasted demand. Yung forecast na yon will be informed by market trends, economic trends, sales or promotion data, or by historical sales data. Dito pumapasok ang bulk o maramihang pag-produce ng goods, na kung saan ang goods na iyon ay ready na kapag kailangan na ng customer. Hindi na nila kailangan maghintay na magawa yung product para ma-avail nila yon. Since ready na ang product, push system can quickly fulfill large orders or ma-accommodate yung biglaang pagtaas ng demand without delays or stock out, in which it can ultimately improve yung customer experience. So, nababawasan dito yung risk ng product shortages but can also lead to high risk of waste, which is produce ng goods na hindi sure if magagamit or mabibili lahat ng iyon ng mga customer. So, it would cause to overstocking naman. So, pwede rin malugi doon sa mga unsold goods, excessive storage costs, and potential for waste, lalo na kapag expired na yung mga product dahil sa tagal na nakastock doon. So, example nito ay ang bakery. So, nagbe-bake sila ng amount ng pastry every morning based on what the baker thinks their customer will want. Now, we will move on sa pull system. A pull system is the just-in-time or the JIT method, which ensures that goods are being produced only as they are needed. Push system naman focuses on producing or stocking goods in response sa actual customer demands kaysa sa forecast lang. So, how does a pull system work nga ba? It is very simple lang, ano? Nagpo-produce lang sila ng goods based doon sa orders ng mga customer. They focuses on producing and delivering product when they are needed. Dito, unlike sa push system, ang pull system reduces the risk of overstocking ng mga unsold item. Inaalaw ng pull system yung mga business to quickly adapt to changes in customer demand and sa market trends. Pull system also has a disadvantages. Because it keeps inventory level low, there is a risk naman ng stockouts. Especially if magkaroon ng biglaang pagtaas ng demand, pwede ito mag-cause ng production delays or there is a disruption sa supply chain na pwedeng mag-cause ng customer unsatisfaction. Example ng pull system ay ang mga furniture company na nagpo-produce ng mga furniture based doon sa customer's order specification. Ang pull system, it requires constant and precise monitoring of demand which is done using Kanban. What is Kanban nga ba? Ang Kanban ay isang visual management system na gumagamit ng mga cards para matrack yung mga tasks through a workflow. It uses a board with columns na may iba't ibang stages ng isang process. Yung tatlong column na yon ay ang una, to do, pangalawa, in progress, and ang pangatlo ay ang done. So yung mga card na yon ay ang mga tasks that moves across the board as they progress. So mas nagiging visible ang workflow dahil dito. And hina-highlight na ito yung mga areas ng workflow na kailangan ng attention. Ang Kanban ay type ng pull system na ang ibig sabihin na yung work is pulled to the next stage only when a team member has a capacity na i-handle yung task na yon, which prevents disruption and ma-ensure yung flow ng kanilang trabaho. So in conclusion, ang Kanban ay ang visual signal used to manage pull system na ang goal nito is to support the continuous flow or the make one, move one. Now we have illustration in our PPT. Nakapaloob dito ang batch and pull processing and ang continuous flow naman. So una, ang batch and pull processing. Ito yung goal ng push system. Demands are forecasted, large lot of production, high inventory, manufacturing waste, and high efficiency with low system productivity. Ang continuous flow naman, ito yun naman yung goal ng pull system. So, continuous flows means that items or tasks move through the process one by one, without waiting or piling up in batches. The rule is simple, make one, move one. Ang outcome neto, it can produce less waste, higher quality, and more flexibility. Dito naman tayo sa origin ng Kanban. A Toyota engineer named Taichi Ono, he saw kung paano mag-restock ng mga shelves ang mga supermarket based on what the customers actually buy. So he got inspired, then he developed Kanban, which is a Japanese word for sign, to create a system na kung saan ang mga parts are being made or delivered only when they are needed. So it helps in eliminating waste nga naman. Ang Kanban became an inventory control system used in just-in-time manufacturing. So kapag mababa na yung supply ng parts sa isang workstation, a visual cue or sign is displayed na nag-specify kung gaano kadami yung need i-order sa kanilang supplier ng parts. So Kanban is a signal and response system and a tell and get process that prevents overstocking. And now we're going to dive in the concept of Kanban pull system. So pinagsama siya ng concept ng Kanban and ng pull system. Ito ay, ang Kanban pull system is a lean manufacturing techniques na ginagamit para makontrol yung daloy ng mga resources and ang production based lang doon sa actual consumption. So madalas itong ginagamit sa just-in-time manufacturing method para mabawasan ang waste and ang inventory. So we have a diagram here that illustrates the core principle of the pull system. We start here sa downstream operator, which he pulls an item. Yung item A, dito nagsisimula yung process kapag nanguha ng item ang downstream operator from the queue. So dahil nanguha siya, nagkakaroon tayo ng empty space. Yung space left behind by the removed items becomes a visual sign or yung ating tinatawag na pull signal, which indicates that a replacement is needed na. And for our third step or the last step in the process of Kanban pull system, as we see on the diagram, the upstream operator fills the open space. So yung upstream operator, seeing that empty space, is then triggered to produce at mapalitan yung missing item. So in conclusion, the purpose of Kanban pull systems in business is to minimize waste and optimize inventory levels by producing only kung ano ang kailangan at kailan ito kailangan ng mga customer.
Let's proceed to the 5S. What are the 5S? 5S is composed of 5 steps to reduce waste. Number 1 is sort or SEIRI. Number 2 is set in order or SEITON. Number 3 is shine or SEISO. Number 4 is standardize or SEIKATSU. Number 5 is sustain or SHITSUKE. Number 1, sort. The first is sort or SEIRI. Means to separate unnecessary items from necessary items. Ito ay ang pag-aalis ng mga bagay na hindi naman kailangan at pagtira lamang ng mga bagay na mahalaga at madalas nating gamitin. Example na lang nito, in an office, remove broken tools and old document or any clutter. Number 2, in classroom, throw away scratches paper and sort notebooks and books on the shelves. Number 2, set in order. The second S, which is set in order, means to arrange everything in its proper place. After sorting, we must make sure that all items are organized and easy to access. Example na lang nito sa workshop. Lahat ng tools ay arranged based sa purpose nito at labeled ito kung ano ang gamit nito. Number 2, sa school naman ay ang pag-organize ng mga books and notebooks based sa kung anong subject ito. Set in order achieving goals. Dito sa set in order achieving goals, meron tayong 5 level. Level 1, which is just beginning. Dito sa level 1, items are placed randomly at the work area. Level 2, focus on basics. Needed items are first stored and organized based on frequent use. Dito, hinihiwalay ang mga mahalagang bagay sa hindi naman mahalagang bagay. Level 3, make it visual. Items are labeled and goes to dedicated location. Dito, nilalabelan ng items based on use and nilalagay ito sa location na kung saan madali itong kunin para hindi mahirapan kapag gagamitin na natin ito. Level 4, focus on reliability. Items in work area are arranged and also minimize the items in the work area. Dito, inoontian lang ang items na nakaklutter sa work area para naman hindi gulo-gulo at organize ang paggawa sa workplace. Number 5 or level 5, continuously improve. Process improve so the reliability will increase. Dito, ini-improve natin yung mga naunang level para naman mas tumaas ang reliability ng isang workplace. Number 3 ay shine. The third S, which is tinatawag na shine, ay ang proseso sa pagpapanatili ng kalinisan at kaayusan ng isang workplace. Dito rin napapasok ang pag-inspect ng mga kagamitan sa workplace. Example na lang nito, cleaning your desk, sweeping the floor, and cleaning all the equipment and checking if it is in good condition. Number 4, standardize. The fourth S, which is standardized, is the process to make the first 3 steps a standard practice. Dito, ginagawa natin ang 3 step na una kong sinabi para ito'y makasanayan. Example na lang dito ay setting a weekly cleaning schedule, posting a reminder, or using a visual guide checklist. Number 5, sustain. The last S means to sustain or to develop self-discipline. Ito rin ang pinakamahalagang S dahil kapag ala ito, wala na rin silbi ang mga una kong sinabi. Example nito, continuing to practice the 5S without being told. And also, pwede rin maging example dito ang reminding ourselves to clean, organize, and follow the rules.
Now, let's talk about the Six Sigma. Sigma ang ginagamit ng mga kumpanya para bawasan ang defects at ma-improve ang mga proseso. Sa simpleng salita, layunin ng Six Sigma na gawing mas consistent, mas maayos at mas reliable ang paggawa ng produkto. Ang Sigma ay ginagamit sa statistics para sukatin kung gaano kadalas nagkakaroon ng pagkakamali sa isang proseso. Sa madaling salita, tinitignan nito kung pasok ba ang output sa standards ng customer. Ginagamitan ito ng konsepto tinatawag na DPMO na sumusukat sa dami ng errors kada 1 milyon na chances. Ang goal nito ay maabot ang 3.4 defects lang sa bawat 1 milyon na output. Mahalaga ito para sa mga negosyo dahil nakakatulong ito magpababa ng errors, makatipid sa gastos at mapanatili ang mataas na kalidad ng produkto. When the Six Sigma came from? Six Sigma began at Motorola in the mid-1980s when the company found that products with high first pass yield led to better performance and higher customer satisfaction. It gained wider popularity through former GE CEO Jack Welch, who used Six Sigma to save $12 billion over 5 years, emphasizing its role in improving quality, reducing cost, and developing strong leadership. Ang DMAIC ay isang paraan para mapabuti ang mga proseso sa negosyo at bawasan ang mga pagkakamali o defects. Unahin natin ang D. Ibig sabihin nito ay define. Tinutukoy dito kung ano ang problema o layunin. Dito malinaw na binibigay kung ano ang problema at sino ang mga apektado. Halimbawa, bumaba ang customer satisfaction dahil sa mabagal na delivery time. Ang M naman dito ay measure. Kinokolekta dito ang data para masukat ang kasalukuyang performance ng proseso. Layunin nito na magkaroon ng baseline. Halimbawa nito ay sukatin kung gaano katagal bago ma-deliver ang isang order at ilang porsyento ang delayed. Susunod naman ang A o analyze. Sinusuri dito ang data upang tukuyin ang mga nagiging cause ng problema. Halimbawa, nalaman na ang delay ay madalas dahil sa kakulangan ng stock o hindi maayos na scheduling. Ang I naman ay improve. Magpapatupad dito ng mga solusyon batay sa analysis upang mapabuti ang proseso. Dito sinusubukan ang pagbabago. Ang halimbawa naman dito ay magdagdag ng inventory system at ayusin ang scheduling. C naman ay for control. Siguraduhin na ang mga pagbabago ay tuloy-tuloy o consistent na ipatutupad at hindi bumabalik sa dating problema. Karaniwan dito ang paglikha ng monitoring systems. Halimbawa ay regular na i-monitor ang delivery times at customer feedback. Ang DMADB ay isa pang methodology sa Six Sigma tulad ng DMAIC. Ngunit ginagamit ito hindi para ayusin ng kasalukuyang proseso, kundi para bumuo ng bagong proseso o produkto mula sa simula, lalo na kung ang kasulukuyan ay hindi kayang ma-improve para maabot ang inaasahang quality ng produkto.
Now, let's move on to the Six Sigma Toolbox. The Six Sigma Toolbox refers to the collection of tools, methods, and techniques that use in Six Sigma to have a quality improvement approach. The Six Sigma Toolbox used by organization to reduce errors, improve process, and increase efficiency. And here are the Six Sigma Toolbox: analysis of variance or ANOVA, box plots, brainstorming, cause-effect diagrams, correlation of experiments, graphs and charts, histograms, hypothesis testing, Pareto analysis, process capability studies, process control plan, process flow diagrams, quality function development, deployment, response surface methods, scatter diagrams, standard operating procedure, and statistical process control.
Benefits on Lean Six Sigma. First, increase profits.
It saves money and increase probability by making process more efficient. Sa increased profits, nababawasan yung mga rework items at hindi kailangan gawin dahil sa process ng Lean Six Sigma. Dahil dito, mas madaming nagagawang products so that mas mabilis yung flow, madaing nagagawa. Mas mabilis kikita yung standardized and simplified process. This is the main goal of Lean Six Sigma. Sa standardized and simplified process, sa pag-alis ng mga hindi kailangang gawin, mas madali at mas malinaw intindihin yung flow ng trabaho. So that yung mga bagong empleyado, mas malaking chance na mas bilis nilang maintindihan yung process ng magiging trabaho nila sa isang company na yon dahil organized na yung kanilang flow of reduced process. Dito naman sa reduced process, nagkakaroon tayo ng less customer complaints, less waste, at dito naman mas na-improve natin yung products. Dito sa reduced waste, mas nakakasave tayo ng money and time dahil na-avoid natin yung rework and correction sa company development. The Lean Six Sigma promotes culture of discipline and continuous improvement. So, yung employee mo, kapag ka mas nakikita niyang nag-i-improve yung kanyang work sa company mo, mas nagkakaroon siya ng motivated to work, tsaka nagiging confident siya sa sarili. Lastly is the value to the customers. It ensures all the improvements lead to the greater value to the customers. So, yung customer mo, kapag ka naka-receive siya ng consistent products or services mula sa company mo, dito mo mas ma-earn or mas chance mo ma-earn yung trust and loyalty nila sa company mo. Pareto's Principle. This is named after by Vilfredo Pareto, which is an Italian economist. The Pareto's Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. It states that 80% of results came from the 20% of causes. So, yung halimbawa naman ng Pareto's Principle is kagaya sa business, which is 80% ng complaints business mo is galing sa 20% ng customers.
Ang Lean ay nakatutok sa pagtanggal ng mga waste para mas mabilis at efficient ang process. Ang Six Sigma naman ay tumututok sa pagtanggal ng defects para mas maganda ang quality. Pag pinagsama, ginagamit ito para ayusin ang sistema, bawasan ang gastos, pataasin ang quality at speed at tulungan ng negosyo na kumita ng mas malaki.